hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown-skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Qiddiya, and 1xBet.
Whoa, welcome back. Same task, but with a different cast here, bringing you the action in North America. Still get the bag mark, but with Vincent cast this time to bring you this Blue Jays versus the Boss here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I got a peek at Blue Jays earlier this week here at Challenger League, and I'm hoping to get a little bit better look at them than I saw then up against a Boss team that, listen, they've been building back stronger. I've been impressed. You know what I mean? I think that this is a team that was in a rough state not too long ago, and they've gotten into a space where I think they're already looking very respectable.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting where you break it down. And to be honest with you, considering the conversations that we were having, like, behind closed doors, like, I was literally calling for this team's head, essentially. Like, I thought they were going to die after, obviously, Minus retired. He briefly did replace on this roster, but, I mean, obviously, Snav going and rejoining with the boys over on Getting Info. We take a look at the upper bracket here and see NRG chugging along against the Blue Jays. That's what put him here, obviously, into the matchup of the lower bracket that you saw last night. A very tenured series out there in 3 maps. It was a great one that they had, but definitely one of the storylines that we follow for Marsborn, unfortunately flundering later on in series. But the Blue Jays will take that opportunity every time, as this is their road that they're going to try and get all the VRS they can, Vincent, to try and find their way to Budapest, because their chances ain't terrible.
No, I mean, they're certainly there or thereabouts, and I think that they're a team that's definitely capable. It's been a lot harder of a road here for Boss going down to Blue Jays in the upper bracket round of 8, and then they had to fight through Coop, and then they got a freebie against Lag, and then a 2-0 over In Control after In Control tussled with M80 up in the upper bracket. So this is a rematch. I think first and foremost, that's got to be the first storyline coming into tonight, is, you know, the chance for Boss to show, hey, listen, last time it didn't go all that well, but this time it'll be different. And last time it was bad, bro. It was 13-5, 13-5, 2 dominant victories on Dust 2 and then Ancient for Blue Jays. Boss really were in the series. I need them to be in the series tonight. They got to get their heads in the game. That's what I'm looking towards, especially considering, hey, listen, you know, we still are seeing a previous iteration of this Blue Jays roster, right, with Freshie as opposed to Walco. So I think that we could say that there is certainly a real opportunity for Boss to find this upset, even with this stark contrast from last matchup.
Yeah, because it's like honestly surprising looking at some of these statistics on paper for some of these Boss players. Here's the last confrontation that, you know, we were just talking about, but like quite literally in all of these series, it's almost a little bit comical that we've, you know, mentioned in some of their losses. I mean, you have to like encompass up like a loss over here to Wild Card, but also the Blue Jays. Like at some point it gets a little bit worse. You get like blown out by NRG and CCT. But like I'll give you a bit of a pass there in some cases. So like look, in terms of, you know, people we have popping off of the page, it's where we cue to our Qiddiya player to watch, and that's where we have the awesome storyline right here, Vincent. I will say it first and foremost, watching Junior, it's not going to be popping off of the page too much besides his rating last night on that second map of that Dust 2. He had like a 1.5. He was really having a whole lot of impact on there. In Inferno, it doesn't show up up as highly. He was really active at the beginning of the game, but you're going to need to be watching Junior as a leading aspect. Obviously, had that call up to complexity to fill in for Halzerk at the major in a brief appearance there, unfortunately for the North American fans. But where I transition this, Vincent, and where that surprise does consume, man, this has been the revivalist light. How this guy has been looking statistically has been probably the best that he's looked in over a year.
I mean, I feel that he has kind of showed up in a way on this team that, again, I really wasn't expecting. I think that Slight's been okay to not good enough for a little while, and his resurgence right now certainly is a big powerhouse and a big part of why I think Boss have these types of opportunities with him in Fruit Cup, and then B-Will's coming in and playing well.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a team that has some chances to win in games that I think otherwise they wouldn't be. As we take a peek at where Blue Jays are at currently, are sitting with a nasty situation with their map pool, to be honest. And that's that they're not doing so well on Overpass, and they don't play Train. It's an issue that they've got to solve, that they've got to find a solution to. The issue tonight for Boss is that that's not really a thing that they have a real solution for. They like a lot of the similar maps. They like to play them. And the issue is that when they've gone head to head in the past, it's been straight up not good enough.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to need to see a measurement up to it that almost you're going to be serving a whole lot of optimism to even see through, because, you know, where you may see a little bit of a worry not having the win yet on Overpass. They're 0-2 there. They've had some really very hard competition on that Blue Jays side, but hopefully this is one that Cryptic and Co were working on. We got to watch them over in CCT on that Overpass. It was nothing to be happy about, but the fact that like you have a 100% shooting on this nuke, and obviously Dust 2 is like nobody's business when it's against the Blue Jays. They never pick into an Inferno, but when they float it, they also are winning 75% of the time. So when you go into a lot of these tier 2 North American matchups and you go down the line, here's another similarity, right? Where you see this Inferno as a strength or Boss, and where this can line up potentially as a Mirage. That comes up at third maps for the Blue Jays, and they're able to work with it, but not consistently enough.
Yeah, and specifically surrounding that Mirage, I do think that there's a lot of asterisks about the maybe the potential lack of strength with the win rate. They've played so many good teams on Mirage. You know, the NRG that we saw the other night, that one was with, you know, a sub, and after they had been getting DDoSed all night. So I really don't put a lot of faith in that one. A couple of losses to M80. Like, we just have a lot to kind of fall back on to say, dude, I know Blue Jays Mirage isn't like looking all that good. I do think it can be good. Anyway, we're going to jump right into the action. We got Dust 2 ready to throw at you to begin this thing, and I'm excited to see what Blue Jays have now that they, you know, are going to be able to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, here where they came out in a smashing overzealous win on that second map. They had to put a period on that first map where Marsborn were, I mean, all shaking up myself. I was really liking what I was seeing out of, you know, a lot of the role questions that I had walking in for Marsborn. That's like an axe that I'll throw every single time. And you were getting that star performance out of Grizz, but just not throughout the entire series. And Blue Jays, where you go pound for pound down this line, could potentially, I mean, match up obviously better than Marsborn they did yesterday, but like against the firepower on most North American teams, Vincent, that's where we get really excited about this roster.
Yeah, excitement is at an all-time high. Out to long for the Blue Jays, getting themselves into position to take towards A. There's only one lurk, and that's Classia in lower. That being cleared out by Ben Lead at the moment. I think he spotted him. Meantime, Slide over the top of the smoke, catches one. He's under fire.
Well, he's been clean on these pistols, but he'll be wiped after a single digit. Here comes Classia on a lurk. May not be his so far ground where you get him every single time, but often a thorn in the side of his opponents. And Boss here are gonna have to chase him down before it gets too bad. Fruit Cup has a stab on the other end of that dually, and a flying Galaxy has one shot for you to put an exclamation point on his trio.
Yeah, this is a Blue Jays team that I think the reality of them in this tournament right now is that they are capable. They have the firepower with the way Cryptic likes to move his pieces around. It's not simple, but it isn't overly complex either. The way he likes to work is, just to do the small things right. It's based on some protocol and all that kind of stuff. And then on the T side, it's more about momentum. It's about working together and, playing the map control, etc. So I think that they have firepower to make this work. Laxi putting it together in that last round. This Force Buy is off to a rip-roaring start. That's Junior up through mid. A nade into the smoke, I think, was caught into suicide, and a freebie through the smoke as well onto long. How could things go better?
Potentially here with another scout shot that could have met Cryptic, but so far to the dream. I think even may have spotted Fruit Cup backing into the corner, but flicks to get that trade anyhow. The in-game leader working on that side of the line. Freshie was definitely just spotted here for the Blue Jays, who in this short time of the offseason was removed from this roster on August 1st on a new home over on Sportsbet Expert. We'll talk more about that drama here in a moment because we still got lines to read, and I think Ben Leet with the most prime positioning here is going to be forced back. That's a disappointment.
Yeah, in the meantime, numbers get punched in, so Blue Jays have themselves a post plant. Forward positioning on catwalk here for Cryptic's really important as he's about to be tested.
Walking this forward, again, it's the Galil of Cryptic that's crossed another name off of the list, but he's further into scoutable territory. But hold on, there is a serious problem being brought towards long. You've taken care of everything on accounts to it. Cryptic getting involved in this thing to begin. 130 ADR for it. Yes, sir. On top of the awesome performance that he had rocking yesterday, he had a calling masterclass, Vincent. And I don't use that lightly when you're trying to just tote your way back against a team like Marsborn, trying to do everything they can in the VRS to make this core worth being a little bit more, in North America. I mean, Cryptic had to do it all yesterday, and back on that third map, it was just a wonder.
Yeah, I think Marsborn in for maybe some changes, honestly, after the last couple of weeks that I've seen him, but that's a whole different conversation. We're into a little tech pause here on the part of Boss. They're forced by, I wouldn't say it falls flat, but I just want to give Blue Jays a whole lot of credit, Mark. They actually found a way to break their way through a 3v5. They started that round in a 3v5. That's the hardest part, and got cat control the hard way.
Feels so long ago that opening scout kill that Slight got.
Yeah, and apparently it's a technical pause, not a tactical pause, but maybe that's a perfect time to talk about how tumultuous this year has been for Darty, Slight, and Fruit Cup. This core, I mean, it wasn't all so long ago that they were rocking this Blue Jays banner, I think that's something to note, that it definitely was a huge head turner when, Wolf got cut from that roster, and then Blue Jays decided, actually, I think we want the Nouns core instead. And that's what we have here. A couple changes later. And I think I was like you. I was like, where are Boss at? And I think that they have found a good replacement in Ben Leet when Snav jumped ship.
I mean, that's amazing how you lay it out. Because for those that or maybe missing the main premise from that, I mean, they likely should have been lifeless after being dropped from that organization and faltering right there. They gave Snav a chance. I mean, they literally did. I remember the conversation being at the time that they were going to pick up Walco. I think Snav came knocking, and that was a really good move for it. They had tons of success over there on Boss during that time. But then again, right? I mean, I think Snav going back to familiar scenes over there on Getting Info, and they've done a lot in a lot of tier 2 tournaments. That's good for them. But But again, you're going, well, where is this going for Boss? Who's out here, right? You want to talk about potential changes, right? We won't get too far into these politics for Marsborn, but even in the interview that Wolfie gave over at Frag 19, I mean, making these roster moves isn't easy in North America because of the lack of experience of the players that are maybe out here. I mean, that's why you see B Wills called up here after at least 9 months of inactivity, since I see from HLTV officials, but last was notably with Nouns in a longer stint in December of 2023 when that finished.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a year and a half for him of inactivity, basically. And I think it's cool that it's him with Ben Leet coming back in. Dude, they played together back in 2020. And I was telling you in the green room, dude.
I was in high school.
Whalers, which, listen, you go back and look at some of those photos and it warms the heart, honestly. And I think it's cool to see him back. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe it was Junior was one of the ones who replaced B-Wills on that Nouns roster. Can't remember. Might have been George.
Yes, I believe that is the move. George then does a whole lot. Has moved into a New Jersey since then. Having this stint for where you see Freshie now teaming up with OG Wizard, who departed from Ben Leet & Co. over on the Party Astronauts when a job came knocking. For Cup, he's going out that door as well, just for this Deagle and a 1v5. Not going to be too far in to account for a clutch. I think it'll be too much to ask for that. But where do you want me to go next? DJ onto freaking LAG. You got Brett out there jobless now, right? I mean, for a hectic North American offseason into a couple of months of the season, the chaos just kept coming.
It really did. I know that this is not this series, but the fact that Brett got cut from that roster, can't remember the last time that Brett got cut from the team, from a project he was on. It's got to be 3 years at this point since I've seen that happen. So it was a huge surprise for me.
That's a surprising sheesh that I give, as in, man, somebody's going to be happy to give this guy the keys somewhere.
Gotta be.
Talented in-game leader he is. But where
Look at what he did with the pieces he had.
Most definitely. Builds up a couple of different Fluffy Aimers rosters before hopping on to Vagrant's Core.
Where's Slump at?
Is he not playing with getting info anymore? I thought he was moved off of the op briefly. He was given to Dia on that return back, and it was Dare that stepped back. I believe Slump has just been relegated to the cages of the rifle. Even after his best performances, B-Wills decapitated early.
Talk about an opener. That's Junior. Ben Leet needs to tangle it long. That's a great supportive flashbang, and unfortunately for Ben Leet, he just can't track the spray. So Laxy's trade, it's effective. The opening pick, enough to give that advantage to Blue Jays after the fact, with Laxy confirming.
Junior meeting back up with Classia. But I think this party is going to start without him. Darty on that push is going to get punished by the MAC-10, but it's the back turn here for Slight that's going to be back all alone. It's going to be too far as to account. This bomb still headed back to B. Blue Jays got this all lined up, even for the 5 health Cryptic. Trying to line it up where they can. It's a conceded effort, and finally the headshot. It is Cryptic cracking again. He's got 6 here to begin on a 4-round escapade for the Blue Jays.
Even in a losing effort the other day against NRG, Junior was so consistently good at just giving Blue Jays opening duel victories. If you go look at the stats, it's kind of absurd how good Junior has been on Dust 2 specifically. When you're talking about his opening win rate, it is crazy. Against local NA competition, I really feel like we are in a Junior renaissance right now, because he was never
that's
bad.
An overstatement.
Never bad, but I think that the times where I had seen him late into that Nouns project, I didn't feel like I saw him at this level at any point.
Seems like he's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. to say the least. Flash out from short here. It is perfect right now, picking up Laxi, and there is a deposit to be coming out of this shadow at some point. Cryptic, give him what he wants, and it is Ben Leet taking it, grabbing it with the 5-7 and running away in this corner, and it is going to be Glacia to try. He's damnedest, but this has gone way too far. Boss have caught up to this 4-round start, and they have this on a good one. And cat fight was not too much after all.
I mean, it's crazy because this was all pistols. This was Deagles and 5-7s. A little bit of a pinch in mid. Not so much like a ultra aggressive tact, but they got somebody down in under. They got a position as well, mid proper with a Deagle there. And then the double up on Catwalk as you highlight. Good work from Boss. Stealing around away. That one should have been easier mode. And it's done a bit of a number on this Blue Jays economy, too. They're going to get an op-out, but it's at the cost of Freshie by the look of things. I actually could have gotten him like a Galil or something. Interesting decision from the Jays.
Man, I can't tell you about this Phi guy and how excited he was about Laxi. Been ruffling about his Mongols bro summer.
Oh my!
This is his favorite player in North America.
I'm a big fan of this move too. I'm sure we'll talk about it later.
This gets the best off-season move award from, very prominent pundit. Get the bag mark.
I think it's the most shrewd move for sure. Blue Jays, in the meantime, getting themselves
Those that
cat
know
control. That's right. I think they're just gonna go on this.
Let's find out about B-Wills, and he's checking back in where he belongs, going back up and just destroying everything in front of them. Boss puts the foot down on the neck of the flock, and they can't even breathe. Glacia 1 versus 5, and B-Wills, welcome back. This guy has been spectacular since he stepped back into the Boss jersey. He's put up a 1.9 rating for a guy that's meant to do the dirty work. On the entries, on everything, he's been incredible.
Yeah, I've been very impressed. Yeah, 1.9 would be...
That would be crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
And the 3.0 pushes glasses up.
I really... When I saw that come through... Hold on. This is a classic Glacia, TBH. All right. All good. They double swung him. Well played there for Boss. Don't give him any chances, because I tell you this, I think that Glacia can win just about any round if you give him enough space. So, Boss know that. They've been playing against this guy for a long time. Dude, I mean, say oops on that one. Seriously crazy. And lines him up for more. B-Wells. Yeah, I was really... I wasn't doubting this move when I first saw it come across my desk, but more, okay, I don't know how that's going to look. Where's this guy been at? What's he been up to? Clearly been in the kitchen cooking up a whole lot in the DM server, because he's been playing very strong, especially as you highlight for what roles he's meant to be fulfilling.
Viz never lost it. B-Wills never lost it. Exotic never lost it. Who's the NA Pro coming back today? That's the question you should be asking here, but it seems to be Ben Leet onto Boss as well. I think this is, Ben Leet was, holding together a really struggling Party Astronauts unit for a while. Was going to attempt a second rebuild in the year, but, got an opportunity. Couldn't exactly refuse now, could he, Ben?
No. I don't blame him either. I think that, respectfully, Ben Leet needed a little break from that whole project. I think a little bit of new blood with Ben Leet is going to be really good.
Fortunately, that new blood was not Cameron and Austin.
I know you were excited.
PA will be back one day. A legendary North American brand, we all hope.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
For that another day. Ben Leet himself on time. Speak of the devil, and he's coming out with 2 horns here with those shots lined up. Glacia bring it back with this Deagle, but there was nothing coming out besides this fury from this fire out of the AK. Glacia is going toe-to-toe here on the site, and don't give him another plight. He's gone down for it. 1 round separates.
Yeah, but every single one of these Deagle rounds, Glacia is getting a little impact. He's making it happen.
He's back. And I'm not just saying that as the #1 classiest supporter in the world, okay?
I think you might be. You are the #1.
I'll prove it right here. Here's the reason why. I mean, the reason why this Blue Jays project has worked out so well in some time. I mean, you hear us going back to the conversations of, yapping about the roles of, say, Marsborn. If you were just watching to the last broadcast, you heard me give a whole lot of flack to how Bestia were using Teemo. But the thing is that, Blue Jays have straight up figured it out, and the proof is in the pudding. They've done so well. This is a very cohesive rifling unit, the underrated of which is the amount of entry attempts that Cryptic really actually has under his belt. This is a really, really powerful unit, especially when you have Junior playing the way that he is, the Renaissance, as you said.
Yeah, it's been an issue over at Long. I know we just saw Bin Lee pick up a little highlight reel moment, but that was against the Eco. On the gun rounds, Blue Jays have been dominant here, getting openings, finding the trade frag, and clearing out Long of CTs. Boss don't engage. They say, it's all yours. We'll be trying for that late round instead. Don't worry about it for now.
Oh, no, they're just going to line up for the in-game leader of Boss. Strikes down, and while it's hot, they're gonna stay on this vein and blow open that smoke. It is a great look here for Slight, but he is gonna be overwhelmed. Is Fruitcup gonna be on the land of the luck? That Molotov is not even gonna get that far, not even close. Junior is gonna take these fights into spawn, but now Fruitcup to just be the last prawn gets that out. It's an 8th and a tied game. The tale of 2 4-round streaks now, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I feel like Blue Jay is a little one-dimensional in that round. And to be fair, that's not a problem that they've been having by any means. That's really the only time outside of, I think, round 2 where they were just so committed to Long. But this flashbang is beautiful. Sets been lead up for success, and everyone making good decisions after that. You saw a little bit of support for Slight as he gets one through the cross smoke as it's blown open, and then Fruit Cup just plays off of his teammates. He doesn't overswing, knows what Ben Lee did at the beginning of the round to give them that advantage, and he's not willing to give that up without a fight. This round basically lives and dies on Junior's scout, and then the Deagle follow-up that they hope to provide around it. Is that the second time Fruit Cup has been on that elevated off angle? Yeah, this one right here. Second time this map, so watch out for this. They might clear it if they go out mid.
Might assume they're back into the Banes of Ben or B Wills, but it's Slight they're going to have to be worried about here, and only for a moment. What is coming out of these Deagles right here? The Blue Jays just got another belt of it, but they're being pelted with utility from spawn. They have no solitude to get a bomb down, even if they can dream of it. Back for this scout, and Freshy's finally getting this plant down, but just adding it up, rushing up this ramp. B Wills is just pulling them to bits, and don't get this long range. Such little HP, and you're living the nightmare. It is Darty on 2 HP. They don't have an HE. This is going, and has to be the wall bang. Darty with the Seeker defuse. Junior with the wall bang too late.
I'm not going to lie, as I saw the bomb going down there, all the utility had been tossed, and I was watching the numbers be punched in, backside instead of for Cat, and I was thinking in my head, Mark, this is a problem. This could be the round losing positioning for that bomb, and unfortunately it was. I mean, you can't really give any flack over to the way that Junior or Fruit Cup is playing there, but man, I'm blown away that that's what steals the round back. That's what makes it bosses rather than Blue Jays for an eco win.
Active smoke still down, and Fruit Cup, oh, he can catch this. A little bit of information right as it's roped back. I promise you, Cryptic is confident enough to go ahead and rope to take this fight tonight. Second Incendiary will serve him the sauce. Slight here may not be ready for Glacia crack back. Certainly not for a push like that. You're punished.
Yeah, Slight's been pretty mobile. Unfortunately punished in that case. Laxi's going to lurk out on Cat as Binley is down over at long. So the reaction from Fruit Cup is to take back that control, but it's in, unfortunately, a losing effort, at least of the bomb site itself.
BWill's on time for it, if anybody else can be. But it seems like this is a stand that may not be worth it, especially backing off from long. Swallowing their pride a bit here. Fruit Cup, it just beams Freshie out of the business. Glacia may have to begin again on B to find another scope that's hanging around here. Darty on the stop right now.
I think that scope has been heard. Yeah, the wide swing, but Glacia collected. Nice flick out of Darty. Not going to see him have the op very often. It's been a very long time that he and Slight have been teammates, off and on. Worn a whole bunch of different jerseys over that time period, including, obviously, Wild Card. Ironically, this, like I said, this team led by Cryptic not all that long ago.
It's even weirder when you consider that roster was encompassing both Cryptic and Brett for some time. Lots of brains there.
Well, and I think that, to be honest, that's really where you can track back. There's you're a football guy, right? When you're talking about like coaching staffs, there's like a whole thought process of who learned from who under what tree.
The ocean tree goes far. That much we know.
That is true, but the Cryptic tree goes pretty deep as well. You can 100%, see conversation back to Brett and how he learned how to call. There was some time there. I think you and I casted some of those games back in like season 2 of CCT, where when it was Fluffy Aimers and whatever jersey we're talking about, but a Cryptic led team on the other side, it was kind of like watching, the Master and the Apprentice going head to head. It was pretty cool, to be honest. Just two of the exact same style, but with a little bit more oomph for Cryptic, who's the Master in this case.
And even to the latter end of 2024, I know both those teams were ones that were present in Kansas City, Missouri at Philadelphia 18. And that was the peak, but also sort of the rearing of the end of that Fluffy Aimers roster. We all remember the fateful New Year's Eve debacle of the NA Shuffle. That's just when it was getting started from that player break, that offseason. All of that really broke up the Fluffy Aimers. All of that getting down with the original Nouns roster that was built back up to be this, featuring Infinite and Peeping. I mean, we could go on all day.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not even sure I remember where Infinite landed off of that. I know that there was some questions about whether he was going to be competing at that time, but... If you want another deep cut, I'm talking about the IGL tree with that. Well, you throw back to that same team that BWills and Binley played for back in 2020. You can find DJ, who's just taken over Lag's helm. Not too long after that, he started taking up that in-game leadership role.
But at what cost? Might, unfortunately, faltering to the death that the party astronauts also were sought to, unfortunately, breaking up after... you may question at home, well, if the in-game leader leaves, we can just pick up another one. But essentially with, so many of the rosters coming down to a lot of these moves, and of course, not every time you're, obviously moving out other parts that are not your in-game leader to keep that as a core. The actual core of the roster comes down to that literal term in the VRS, right? Those teams died because that was an anchor to those rosters and keeping the points together. And that's unfortunately why Might had to disband as well as the party astronauts.
Yeah, unfortunate situation. Though, to be honest with you,
I think DJ has done his time over there in the Might jersey ever since, I mean, Stamina and Dan's and that original project. He's seen so many different faces come through.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. A little tech hiccup here if it weren't obvious. I'm a little bit concerned that we're seeing some of the same troubles that have been plaguing, unfortunately. I mean, it's been Blue Jays, but I know that it's been a situation going around here in North America for the last week or so across a bunch of different events of some technical hiccups, some networking troubles. So I'm hoping that that's not what we're experiencing here. Not to paint too brutal of a picture, but, you know, first of these tech pauses precipitated a start to a runaway there for Boss. Talking about that back and forth.
Yes. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and we should be back in this debacle soon. It's a really exciting best of 3 that we have back. And to be honest with you, I mean, following up this Dust 2 with the Mirage, it's going to be a bang map pool that you do have stepping throughout Vincent. But essentially, I mean, you know, really, I think one thing that we should note on is where you have Freshie. And I did briefly mention it earlier. So Freshie was cut August the 1st from the Blue Jays roster, which did cause some confusion, right? Where you talk about this roster from Boss having to return to said branding, right? It was everybody but Freshie. And saying that they were going to build around him and needing to get another core, essentially. You said it yourself. They went and got the X Nouns Moneyball team that was running it up in multiple leagues under that name and actually doing pretty well. Even brought in some Swedish names that unfortunately have, I mean, coincidentally fell out of some of these North American projects. They were playing really well. So unfortunately, that's pretty confusing. Oh, they did? Well, that's sad.
I think at least Dottie did. I'm trying to remember. If I'm not mistaken. So I think that's what happened more than anything.
Right, but even, you know, where we had that mentioning earlier that, I mean, Walco was the original rumored replacement for that in-game leadership of Cryptic leaving, and it's Snap that replaces. It's Walco that has actually been acting as the pseudo unofficial and hopefully official, if you ask me, 5th player out there for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think it's actually interesting. I got a chance to listen to an interview that Cryptic did on the Dust 2 Eagle Masters just a few days ago. Actually, it was a little bit more, maybe a week ago now. And there was a question asked about Walco and kind of what he brings to this team. And obviously, there's nothing guaranteed, nothing confirmed, but from the way Cryptic was talking about it, it seemed relatively set in stone. He was talking about how, you know, they were looking to Walco in order to bring a little bit more verbal, who could talk a little bit and bring some mid rounding to the team, right? Help Cryptic out in that fashion. So I don't know, when you're talking about a guy in that fashion, I tend to think that that's usually you looking for a long-term solution.
I would certainly agree. Bringing a lot of experience. A guy that was on Evil Geniuses and even NRG briefly for a moment before Captain America came knocking. Somebody's knocking on our door, and it is our admins telling us that this may take a little while longer. So we're not gonna keep you guys from listening us to having to yap. We're gonna be throwing this to a break. So we'll be back when we have an update. Hit and resume on this Dust 2. We are back in without a little bit of troubles. We had slight DC, but he is back in action, ready to take this Dust 2 on the chin. Laxia the spawn had the op for long. Nothing found on the other end of that hook.
Yeah, they don't give him a chance, and I wouldn't either. Quick move back here for Boss. They set their sights on mid. I'd say that. Slight comes in, tosses a nade, and then sprints out. He's on a very defensive angle on Catwalk now. It's not the forward-facing one. It's just a little bit further back. A flash will handle them, but this normal molly that's just been thrown, not going to deny him in any way.
Slight waltzing and waiting, and unfortunately going to be just sat down by Cryptic, who continues to go and stab as another entry is thrown onto the board, and Freshie has just put one into the back here. Blue Jays are breaking the spine of Boss on the CT side out of this pause. They're fully back into the frenzy.
That they are. Quick into the answer. As I was highlighting, the first tech pause that we had, Boss seeming to take advantage. They bounce fast into this map, tie the scoreline up, but 5-5. Looks like Blue Jays are back in action. And it's not courtesy of Junior, who we've been talking a whole lot about. It's a team effort. Great opener. Entryway onto A. Slight goes down. And unfortunately, you know, for a guy that we were talking up a lot in the pre-show, I think Slight's had a little bit of a tough time in this map thus far.
We'll see if he can't recover. But the good graces of the CT side will only be around for a round longer. Freshie saved by the bell himself. But his risk wasn't one to really be too worried about. Trying to break all those guns back from Boss would have paid dividends, but it didn't carry over too much. So just not too huge of a worry on that. Blue Jays are showing their strength of having an in-game leader who is willing to go and get his hands dirty and find out what's happening for himself. Cryptic here is not only leading the pack in the fragging department, but clearly working off of the feeling of this information, thriving in this Dust 2.
There's Junior. Active on to Darty. Now Slight's up to bat. He could be big here, but he swings it and delivers. Junior's dead. Cryptic on the cutoff, and Slight's continuing forward. He can't be stopped.
Spotted Classy up on that, and his life is going to have to mean the most. As Classy is separated from his in-game leader right now, who is cut off from the top of upper tunnels, and Classia's going for the head right now, but Classia can tell his crown is under pressure for it on a one-on-one.
Oh, wow.
Fruit Cup didn't see Classia into that smoke. He sure did, and he is waiting for that to fade. It is now Fruit Cup 1-on-2. Waits for that to fade, but he knew where he was the whole time. Just needed to mime it out for a moment. Too much respect given back over to the flock here. 3-minute halftime. We'll be right back.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. you're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. The way you like it. Just the way you like it. The way you like it.
Blue Jays fly out of that half with a little bit of something to hold on to, Vinny, and now rocking themselves right back into a CT side pistol round. You got Junior here to take the spear with a pair of dualies to face off against an up-and-coming upper rush. They're going to be just met with this emphasis with a drop smoke and a shot right back. It's Junior that goes one and then done. Laxi pressing out of this smoke with B-Wills just going active for it, and he's gotten two before he's gone down. Fruit Cup up for the clutch, and he's gonna get this down. They're just gonna chase him in here in the star. Can't even get off of the bomb plant.
Fruit Cup looking like a fruit snack right there. Gets eaten up quick and down and out. I knew you'd like that one. That's why I had to toss it in. It was like a little ugly there, but everyone was just a little bit off on the timing, got their gun out just in time in order to take the fights, and fair enough, Blue Jays win it. Made easy, though, by Freshie, who's active over on long. He pushes forward, and that's why Junior's dead so early. That's the first kill in that replay. You get down to the wire. A 2v1, Fruit Cup, not even a chance to get the bomb fully down and ready to roll. Boss, see what this force play has on offer.
Boosted up to find something on catwalk. Nothing actually presenting immediately for the Blue Jays. It's a different set that they're going to get to work with out here. Maybe a couple of rounds before you see that Junior AWP, but they're trying to keep this heat on right now. Boss going for all sorts of contact. They just got one flash in the cut right here. This is going to take a whole lot for B-Wills to gain attention. One smoke may not do it.
No, especially with this early setup for Junior.
Gets such a good go about those first two players, but B-Wills has been shooting nukes this entire time. It's another double that he's gotten onto the short control, but look at this next toll. They get this down and they're getting into the next A sequence without seeing anything.
Bomb will get planted. That should dunk on to get damage onto B-Wills. He made a whole lot more problematic in this. Late lurk is coming as well for Laxi. And with that contact, now they're going to start to move. Darty, yeah, and it is perfectly timed. With the Classy and Freshie, they'll isolate the turn made, and Freshie converts. That timing, Classy and Freshie, they knew that they needed to make it once they understand that Darty's late long. And they accelerate. Perfectly done. Blue Jays. They pay it forward. They make sure that Junior's double at the beginning of that round doesn't fall on deaf ears. B-Wills tries his best. Gets a 2 kills and a bomb plant, but it doesn't net the round for Boss. And it looks like they might just continue force buying. Another bomb plant, Mark, you know how it goes. It's such an allure. It seems like the right call in every single junction. I've been talking about this a lot, that I think teams are getting like a little bit baited into these force buys, because every time you do force buy, it's a reasonable decision. It's not like you're force buying without measure or without purpose.
And here I think you're being encouraged to force because of the heat that Cryptic brought on his T side. He's always going to take that aggressive front when necessary, and I think that's what Ben Leet sees into. A guy that I see more take, especially when wearing that Party Astronaut's helmet, was the passive approach. It's been some time since then. New colors entirely. Blue Jays have Junior to deck it all right here. That A4 active on the A site entirely, but now you're back into the business at this ramp. Seeing Darty getting so close, but yet so far for this. Holding on that mouse one, but just ripping the head off of Farouk Cup. It is just being poured upon time after time. Slighty's gonna have to dime back for this on his scout. In his dreams, maybe. Boss are gonna be pulling this round through. Blue Jays up to 10 right now. This is just a beatdown.
It's a Junior Renaissance, baby. 100%. He looks so comfortable, even on the rifle, with that A4, like moving around. Really nice control of that spray. Very impressive stuff out of Junior in the triple kill. And I really loved what Boss did that round, though. Keeping a little extra cash, making sure that they could buy this round as well. They had Fruit Cup on a hero AK to give him a chance, and obviously Deagles and Armor can always do some good work. Man, did Junior have a clear indication of what he wanted, and he took it. Fast look towards B. It's not a guarantee, and it won't be a press into the B site proper. Boss slow it down, and they don't get the view that they were hoping for it right at the beginning of this round.
Blue Jays with no weakness at the moment. That's not hyperbole. You just haven't seen it from Freshie or Laxi yet.
And you have seen it from Laxi a couple of times on that T side.
That's definitely worth noting. In between, he goes back towards long. May not get to play this round, but I think is going to call up to the importance. This bomb headed the Mongolian player's direction. He had an ace in the pistol round to start off our third map, a nuke last night. This guy has been absolutely a king on this side for the Blue Jays. The throne of long is one that is lonely. He has no help here. And he's standing by his lonesome, but finally, you're getting a bit of attention on this tally, and Freshie is wiping away worries. He gets a double there out of thin air practically. And Cryptic, he's gonna stand here and try and crack another rifle highlight onto the sight hold. Blue Jays, where is the weakness? I will ask again, because right here, it is Boss that test, and they are being sent back to the drawing board.
Yeah, even when Laxi struggles there to get his one, Freshie comes in with a devastating spray transfer. Disgusting look to that one. Headshots aplenty. And then Cryptic under the knife. He delivers pressure just his friend as he ramps up big time. A double kill in defense of the cat exec from Boss. Remind you, 13-5 in the upper bracket. The scoreline on Dust 2. Blue Jays march ever closer to that same exact status. It's not pretty. This purchase that Boss currently works with, they've used almost everything. They have no flashes at all left. And that's a move that Freshie's made twice over this half, but mostly on ecos and then back in the pistol, B-Wills punishes. This is not the round for Blue Jays to give them freebies, but Klasia, he doesn't stop. He doesn't hold. He only pushes forward.
No, he really does. I mean, this Wit knows no bounds here on the anchor spot of B. He wants it, he's got it. And he's running right through upper, confirming all of this information. Junior's gonna see it just swiped onto his screen. A little bit too far forward for my liking, and it shows up with the one shot. Don't make it one kill from Cryptic, but he does just go for it. Glacia trying to line up on time, but wiped out of the watch. Bomb goes down for Boss. And it seems like they finally caught up. Glacia, if it wasn't going to come on his flank, it likely wasn't going to come from Laxies at all. 6 here for Boss.
Yeah, I mean, they knew where Laxi was. He's been late long every single time. He's the long player. They know it. And so, not a repeat. Boss finned off that Spectre up ahead of them. They take that 6th round. It cannot be a repeat of 13-5, but here's what it can be. A mistake for Blue Jays last round, where Freshie on his own, a little bit silly, walks through the smoke. That's just confidence speaking, Marky. Not going to happen again.
Slight takes a great opening duel out towards the blue bin, and he's chasing for more right here on the rifle. Here's the shuffling of the Mongolian player back to the site just on his deagle. There's something more, though. Slight, rather, Junior moves his AWP out to take that fight. Slight darts back.
It's a nasty way to fake him out.
So bold of a call here to try and stand ahead of the Molotov. Too much to ask for. Glacia gets past the check, gets past the line that he was met at last round, has a bit of utility to spread about here. Plenty of green grass, and with Freshie just attached at his hip, they're going to push this forward together for as far as they would like to commit. Not getting the line that they want. They want a 3B before they walk in here, and they've seen a 4-head on the top of ramp. It's teasing Glacia, and now he's going to go diving to save the op and get out of there. What a bold call. That ain't happening.
Dude, that's that smoke just fading, by the way. Slight levels him. And so the op going to be into Slight's hands. I think he went to go collect it. Yeah, he did. Great round out of Boss. A little bit of troubles over at long. That's been Blue Jays' domain. Barely tested early into this half for Boss. Either they're taking it in its entirety or they're letting it be an incredibly late lurk. Basically no presence there otherwise. Last couple of rounds, it's been the opposite. Blue Jays testing the waters and meeting a lot of stiff resistance. It's Boss now on the front foot. At least economically, Blue Jays dismantled. Still plenty of rounds to work with, though.
Only premium rifle off of a flash, and it is blind. They clean up on this long aisle, and it's not even going to be too long of a debate. You have a 5.7 around here and a P250 to go pushing around towards this long smoke. Glacia will catch up eventually. This is a big Boss victory, and one that's turning into, I mean, tallied one at a time, a really good tempo.
Truly. Impressed with where Boss's resiliency in this game has been. Because let me tell you, Mark, it's kind of tough the way that they've been losing some of these rounds. You know, Blue Jays individually have just looked really confident. Stolen away a little extra damage at the end. That's the minimum. That's what Blue Jays have just done. Glacia got some worthwhile Kevlar and a 5.7. In fact, thought he might be looking to go find an AK if there was one down. Wouldn't be able to get there in time, I don't believe, but instead runs away. Save that Kevlar. Certainly needs it. It's muddy running low.
In control of this game are Blue Jays, but this is, I mean, more problem than I think I've seen Blue Jays been given on most of these Dust 2s that I've gotten to cast them on, Vincent, which over on Series 2 is CCT, or even in the wins here in North America and Challenger League Cup 1. I mean, this has just been crazy. Series 1 in CCT, that is.
Yeah, it's looked good. Full contingent of M4s this round. It's Boss set their sights to a different tune. It's been A hit after A hit. They now look to B. A little readjustment. Pretty clear that that's what they want to do. And they haven't taken mid control yet either. They have to test Junior there.
Classy is happy to rumble. But before the racket can meet all the way at the race, it is Classia to try and get back to his own line. Provides nothing for this function. This is Boss fitting in right when they need to. It's a 2v2. Thankfully, Fruit Cup was subtracted, but a Molotov and a fresh smoke. Just ducking outside of B here. Boss are going to just hang on to this thing tooth and nail. Slight clears this upper smoke, and B will get ready for anything to swing out of door or window. This is a fine line that he holds. Cryptic isn't getting anything. Getting off it quietly is just not an option. Laxi here remains with all of it to do. Slight just has to go with another swing to the window. Cracks that pane again. It is Boss that have 9.
I mean, that's a round that Blue Jays were very close to having. Great work from Slight in defense. I talked about him. I think a relatively slow start. It really wasn't like a numeric issue, but the impact was a little lacking in the first half. He's awoken on a deadly defender of B once the T's have control of it. T who makes that site so difficult to retake. The T who looks for another opener in that direction. Not going to be given a view.
Cryptic on that cat escapade is trying to stand out. These are the Deagles of the Blue Jays T side coming back. And potentially for more. Glacia Wax B wills. But here at Long, in the meantime, it's Darty that is having it all brought to his door, barely breathing for it. Junior lining up a collateral, and he has 16 health remaining on Ben Leet. Slight walks on this op, and it could be a matter of time for Boss here.
I mean, this is classic as well here from Cryptic, even from the grave. You see the moves being made, proactive, looking to clear. Glacia now refocusing. Boss have one decision, and it's when to go, not if. No flashes, but the smoke for the cross, and what an ambitious swing there from Glacia. Not punished, no payment. Boss continue.
33 to count and ticking. Problem here is this SMG. And now where you just duck below, keep in mind, we know how this thing goes vertically. That's why it's Ben Leet that has to go for a secured plant. Manages to do it, but practically just coaxed to staying into the site. Not even a room, any way to maneuver his way back out to breathe. It is Slight that has found Glacia, but can't quite get Junior on that first bite. Brings it back and has this double-digit put on this dust 2 all the way down. Vincent, they are one separating themselves from the Blue Jays here.
Yeah,
we just lost a member of Boss right in front of our eyes. The horrors.
Yeah, a little tragedy in that one. But dude, Slight has been dragging Boss, kicking and screaming through some of these late rounds. You got to give props to, them getting into that position, but he's had so many critical multi-kills twice in a row now. Last round and this round. What could have been there? That isn't a tag. Instead, we're a frag. Junior can only convert into a single. Boss. Looks like we're going to get him back fast. They've done it. 11-10. Blue Jays. They had a commanding lead. It was 11-5, remember. It's been a 5-round stretch here for Boss as they bring things back.
Junior pushing this up middle and has gotten an opening kill onto Darty, but what does this tell you? That's where the tail was. Here's the entire body of Boss walking into B, and Bentley with a double earns all of the space for this site, and Slight finds this back all the way in upper. You can call that round done. Junior's way too close for my liking.
Yeah, he needs to be light years away from this. He needs to be so far gone, he's not even a thought in the minds of Boss. He and Laxi back away slowly, tails tucked between their legs. A Bentley double entry onto B, not something you'll say all that often. But as Cryptic did on his T side, Bentley calls his own number, dials voicemail, and says, "I got it. Do not worry." Slight puts the finishing touches on yet another impact frag. If Slight goes down right there in tunnels, Blue Jays have an avenue back in. They're ready. You saw that Junior wanted to go. He had Laxi right next to him. Instead, they have to save, and instead, we're going to see a chance for Boss to take a lead. Be the first of its kind. I don't think they've led all night.
Have to turn this 6 rounds in a row to 7 to take that lead and get this 12th under their belts while the momentum is still blowing their way. This is a problem out here, and while Blue Jays can manage it, they're going to get axed on the mic real quick to try and figure this thing out. It's already ugly.
I lied. They led for 1 round at 5-4.
This is true.
But yeah, that's also another thing here for Blue Jays, at least, that hasn't actually been announced or anything.
No.
Which is I find a little bit strange, but certainly, I mean, he's been with them for the last 2.5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Axed, that is.
Axed attended Fragadelphia with them, and if that's not official, I don't know what is.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I think same situation though, where I'm like, where's the announcement, guys?
Obviously referring to Walco as well after that previous interview you mentioned with Cryptic the other night over in Dust 2 Eagle Masters. We're thrown into the pause again. Unfortunately, for the second time in this Dust 2, it feels like it's dragging along. This is why we had a bit of a lengthier one in our first half, and this may be of the same species. We're going to be throwing this to a break real quick so we can make sure we can work out this pause with all of the resources we can. So we'll be right back.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got.
It's an 11-11 scoring line that you have, but I promise your wish has already been granted because the game is live. Gotta see this thing out here, potentially with 2 more rounds or more out of this. But Cryptic is gonna make sure that that isn't all gonna be into the Blue Jays account. Tallies up 3 more targets for himself and puts them all to bed.
I mean, it's been about long so many times, and now Junior next up, and it's Slight to best him. I've talked about how Slight has stepped up his game throughout this T-side. He has continued to deliver, and he might have just delivered an opening back into this round for Boss. One that Cryptic, I thought, had slammed the door in their face, but no. An avenue towards the A-bomb site, and a freebie on a plant soon as Ben Leet makes his way.
I mean, they're going to be panicking. Where has Cryptic gone? They have just rotated everybody out of this site, playing this retake, playing for the respect, the long game, and the timing, it just goes awry. Cryptic now on for the ace here, and Classy is going to set him up for it. Ben Lee takes the aggressive fight, and Freshie makes sure he fails. That final frag in from Catwalk. Blue Jays have 12 rounds on their map pick.
So this is literally the most classic Cryptic type of CT side call you can imagine. The way that he maneuvers everyone out of the A-bomb site and then just takes space elsewhere. It's decisive. You know what's going on. If they accelerate A, all good. We know they have A, but if they want to go elsewhere, if they want to readjust, well then they're going to find out early. High information, high aggression, and usually together. That's how Cryptic likes to play this CT side, and he does so beautifully. 4 kills total, 3 to open the round off the back of trading his teammate. That is what Blue Jays needed. Finally stopping the Boss crawl back 6 rounds straight, finally stalled.
I mean, neck and neck with our Qiddiya player to watch, who coincidentally we hop on with right here at the corner along. Refresh on where this highlight just came out of the box from Cryptic. Boss gives it another go. They're looking for Laxi, and all they find is a double spray down from the corner. This could be it. This might be the final round for Boss here on Dust 2. Overtime would be the final push, but now they would need a 3 versus 5 to get there.
Not like this. They make their way all the way back, and now Cryptic, he doesn't need to swing. He goes off the contact from Junior. 1 man left, and it Slights off. That's likely dead. Here in just a moment, Laxi hasn't moved, and it's Freshie who puts the finishing touches on that one. Boss, it's a fake comeback. They make oh so close, but they cannot deliver. 13-11, favoring Blue Jays.
Yeah, a really good challenge they give back on that Dust 2. It's simply not good enough, but I mean, into the graces of some of the scorelines that Blue Jays have been putting down recently. That's one of the best challenges they've had, and at points to where that really could have flundered the way of Ben Leet that was putting together a masterclass that ended up, you called it yourself, right? Ended up being the falsified comeback that was canceled. But I mean, look at some of the folds in this manner. I mean, we started off on the tail of these 2 4-round streaks, but like getting boxed back out of it, this was quite a brawl. Back from Ben Leet, and this is where I put a lot of respect. This is my first time watching this iteration of Boss, and even where you didn't have Fruit Cup, the forgotten star in North America here, not playing up to his best. I mean, it was Ben Leet that got involved in the individual conversation. Slight is there, just as we expected him, as he was popping off of the page statistically, but B-Wills was unbelievable here. I mean, this was an insane effort for a guy that is having so much asked of him after not playing for over a year.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. And like I said, I mean, we talked about the Slight recovery and everything that that has gone on over the last little bit. It does feel like, you know, he's really returned to form, and the return for Slight in the second half of that game was very impressive. I almost feel bad for how much he did to lift them out. Unfortunately, that does leave a pretty dicey prospect up in the wings here. We got Mirage coming up next. And listen, I know what you're saying, guys. You're saying, but what do you mean? Blue Jays have like a 30% win rate. Look at who they played. It's not nearly as bad as you think it is. I think that this is a definitely much harder game than you might think if you're just looking at stats.
We got to take more into account on that. Had a heartthrobber of a series yesterday. Of course, didn't see that, Mirage. That's the perma ban of Marsborn. Get it today. It's the pick of Boss, and that's going to be up next after about a 10-minute break, so don't go far.
my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers calm. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. 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 Going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers calm. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. 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 I'll keep going till my speakers calm below.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/e.
Boss thought they had something going, a comeback that just wasn't meant to be. Blue Jays, they make it there on Dust 2. 13-11 is the final scoreline. And Marky, I'll tell you this. If you look down the pike, you might be thinking, boss, they got a good Mirage. And Blue Jays, it hadn't exactly been pretty, but I'm going to go in and say that Blue Jays, they haven't had an easy game since the player break on this map.
No, never. I mean, it's absolutely going to be one that is, I mean, pro league popular for those teams that are trying to like shoot for that aspect. They played against M80 and NRG, and it was ugly both times. Got to expect that Cryptic and the boys have been putting in the work on this map in order to bounce back, especially against weaker opponents that you'll see today. But weaker opponents is all in air quotes, man. You say that Boss thought they had something going, they really did. I mean, ending out that 13-11 with Fruit Cup not playing at full strength, and I think that you probably could have got a better dime on the outside as well. This is going well for them, and I think that they could likely bring this to a third map if they can take the full advantage of the second.
I think that that's certainly plausible. I agree. I do think through Cup, we need to be seeing a little bit more from him. That's a rarity. You're definitely not going to see him have that level of impact twice in a row, right? Where he's kind of not, I don't even think he was necessarily like right at the bottom of the scoreboard or anything. He might have been, but it just in general, there wasn't that like multi-kill potential that he usually provides. That you're usually, very much consistently going to be seeing from him. So with that fact in motion, I am looking forward to this one. The other thing, though, to look forward to, you talked about like M80. Listen, they played NRG on this map and in that game in the upper bracket where, it was just after all of those technical problems. And I really don't put a lot of stock in that. They lost a couple times to Fluxo at Frag. Like I said, this has been a really crazy level of individuals and teams that these guys have been up against here for Blue Jays. I'm excited to kind of see what they look like against Boss, because for me, this is like the actual testing ground. You know what I mean? When I can't take too much away from some of those results, I need to see them play against a team like Boss to get an actual measure of where Blue Jays are at on this map.
100%. And for this team to, in my opinion, have put it together role-wise, even with Freshie playing, right? Thankfully, that's as, keen of as a replacement as they get, obviously, with the role swappage of Walco, excuse me, I can barely spit it out, being on this team regularly in those anchor positions. It's, a seamless transition, right? With, Freshie staying active, playing in the first Elite Cup out there, trying to qualify for season 51 of the Challenger League with Sportsbet Expert, his current project. Playing with Rec, OG Wizard, man. That's a couple of names that most North American fans will know.
Yeah, kicking it over. It's a regular lag get together on that team, to be honest. They got some OGs. See what I did there from that situation? Thank you. Courtesy laugh appreciated. But yeah, I mean, this is a Boss team that will also, talk about results and stuff. Dude, the results here on the Boss side from Mirage have been everything you'd want and a little bit more. I mean, except for a loss to NRG, since the player break, they've been pretty much flawless here, and it's not even been close, really, in a lot of these games. More recently, a couple of closer matches, one against Chicken Coop that's a bit more understandable, but they dominated the competition on this map pretty consistently.
I actually really rate that Chicken Coop victory pretty highly. I think Chicken Coop are really good Mirage and Dust 2 teams, so where you handle a 13-8 out like that, I think I put a lot of respect on a result to begin this conversation, and they're going out to B. Wills, he's got that shot back towards Catwalk, and Laxi has just bit the dust. Same thing with Freshie, however. Darty plants this bomb, and this is a quick call about this post plant.
It's going to have to be swift if Blue Jays want to get back in. The big problem for Blue Jays is that they're all coming from market. They're all going to be here. And even then, Classy is like a step away. He's holding for a flank that's never going to come. This round's basically done. Boss haven't overswung. And at this point, Blue Jays are going to force their way back in here. But if they don't see anything instantly, they might just all walk away. And it's just going to be 2 of the 3 that escape. Maybe not even that, as Junior is about to get run down.
Yeah, he's going to try and hold on to the Kevlar. Glacia sprinting away with smoke as well. He holds on to damaged Kevlar now. Not perfect at any aspect. Ben Lee was the only man that lost his life in that function, and, that was seeing out of market. So if I'm throwing that word around, perfect better go the way of Boss.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't have gone better. A double entry for B-Wills. Talked about him, and I think that he was a little bit more quiet on the CT side, but dude, his T side impact was crazy when we were talking about it. He had some of those multi-kills. He was absolutely a stunner when we were talking about, the upsides for Boss and who was stepping up when somebody like, Fruit Cup maybe wasn't quite as there as we typically anticipate.
In Fruit Cup, your late round player, the 1-2 punch of these entries. Being with Darty.
What?
Being on that end, and with Ben Leet with the second highest entry percentage, getting in the conversation with B-Wills and Darty. Laxi seeing out of this corner, only with 1 on the Deagle here. Shots are out from Palace, and Fruit Cup has a double. Just this $1,700 scalp that is going to be lying around, and not for long.
He gets tagged, but nothing further. Fruit Cup, a perfect 5-0 on the beginning of this one. He's certainly already starting off on the right foot. We kind of talked about that he would not be having a disappointing map twice in a row. Don't anticipate that by any means. Did you see what Bidley did to Cryptic at the beginning of that round. It was not fair. He didn't stop. Literally full Ferrari peaked.
Quickly shoving these pistols into ladder.
How many USPs does it take to climb a ladder?
Climb this box. Seems like the number is like 4. Having Cryptic be the man doing all the heavy lifting. 5-7 he deserves, and will bring a gruesome end to that win about it on catwalk. Recycle this gun, and you have a little bit of cover for it, trying to undercut this setup with Slight, and he does. Puts 2 under the knife, and they are out on the board. Cryptic on this 5-7. I don't think he's going to be gauging way more. It is a 3-0 start, and it's hot for Boss.
It is. I mean, pretty much everyone on a nice beginning to this one, but Blue Jays, their first real opportunity. We talked about the force buy. They could be effective, but here's the real deal coming in this round. Junior's got the big green. Rifles for everyone else, including Cryptic as well, and a wide array of utility. Pretty much all the bells and whistles. This party rocking and rolling. Junior's going to get elevated once again. He gets into ladder room immediately. Trying to deny any mid control, but there's only a tentative hold that way. Binleet's throwing mid nades, but everyone else is grouped outside of A.
And Classia's sight under siege here. Laxi has an insane find to connector that clips off the tail before this thing can even wag. Blue Jay stab everything back. It's a dagger that finds Slight, and they just continue to dig. One player, B. Wills, he just whiffs onto the default player. Back in a 1 versus 5, caged in.
He was blind, trust me. Don't go back and look though. How about, oh, I thought that nade was going to hit him as well. He got nailed by the first one.
Sheesh.
Nice work. Made an escape.
More than just a little bit of fun.
Yeah, but he comes back and finds the loss there. Great work from Classia. That double kill in the hold. Imperative. And Laxi's find in middle was a pretty one-dimensional strategy that Boss employed there, and it goes wrong from the beginning when Binleet goes down. And Classia has just so much supportive utility trying to help him out. You saw 2 different flashes to allow him ease to swing off the back of that. Pulls the crosshair away at the very minimum from his opponents, and leads to another. Blue Jays are on the board.
Briefly into a tech pause, hopefully not too far gone upon this. I don't see anybody DC'd, so I'm all good out here. Do what you need to do, but we're going to be, I mean, I feel like loving what we're seeing out of Cryptic and Classia just back to back again. And that time it was so heavy on A, right? That's not going to happen every single time, excuse me, with Laxi being in that party as well, but that output is completely canceled. A little bit of an A site XQ they try and chip into. All of it besides that has come to where you see on your screen right here in this B site.
Yeah, I don't know who it is this time, but unfortunately it's, you know, we talked about like Blue Jays having technical hiccups. It seems like for the majority of the time tonight, it's been a trouble with Boss. It's Slight dropping, and I know Fruit Cup was having an issue at one point. So here's the hoping that that's not rearing its ugly head once again. The other side, you know, to that equation of the, you know, strong Mirage versus the weakness, I guess, that Blue Jays have shown is that, you know, Boss have had a ton of reps here. You know, they have had so many, and so many that look good. Now, you could argue correctly that not all of those are really quality opponents. But as you highlighted, there's that Chicken Coop win, Legacy Kingdom, no pushovers, and neither are Aethers. So it's last 3 games, 3 wins in a row. You have to go back to their playoff game against NRG for the last loss back in CCT. when we talk about this boss squad.
I also think that it's worth noting simply how quickly they've gotten into shape on this Mirage, considering big changes in with 2 brand new players. I mean, it's looked like they've made up for lost time every step that they've taken, and in all of these Mirages under Ben Lee Calling, they've only lost 1.
Yeah, I think that it shouldn't be that big of a surprise how quickly they've come up to speed, but I do find myself still feeling really impressed with that. But like we've kind of been highlighting it throughout the time, Ben Lee's such an experienced guy coming into a core that knows who they are and what they want to be for the most part. I can only imagine that this is a situation that probably fit very well from the rip. I did see, unfortunately, Slight having issues once again. He was the one before, and
Okay.
I don't know.
News?
Yeah, I just heard that we're going back, but it seemed like he had a couple of minutes here to figure things out, or they might have to play 4v5, which would obviously be tragic.
Oh, goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that message now. That is obviously an alarming notion. So, I mean, for how shoddy online Counter-Strike can sometimes be, man, you got to whip it into shape. And it seems like they will. It seems like we're not going to be dipping into that void, but I think that's the circumstance that we would potentially have to face. Forfeiting these games as well here, which I will say, just first of all, is not the circumstance that Boss are staring down here, really affect the VRS ratings a lot. And is something that, we literally are having M80 playing overseas at, all hours to, continue to play in the North American Challenger League Cup while also competing in Blast Open London online portion.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's pretty awesome to have those types of opportunities for a team like M80, and they worked very hard to get them, right, with the Ace Masters. That was the event that got them the qualification there, and obviously they took the EPL spot as well. So it's absolutely huge. That being said, it's always going to be some ups and downs when you have that situation. Speaking of other things that have been happening out here in North America, right? You have allured back to many times that, Marsborn beaten last time out here against his BLUEJAYS, goes to 3 maps, and Marsborn fall. That's a team that has a lot of exciting pieces on it that I'm certainly happy to see come back into this thing, but we've kind of seen the existing teams, like the teams that we anticipate to move forward, have kind of all made their way through. A win tonight for Boss would finally upset that apple cart.
No, 100%. And, where you have keep in mind for this to even end up, facing through, I hope, a positive direction of the rest of this Mirage. It's entirely plausible, even if I feel like you do exit this series with an 0-2 loss. Let's say this Mirage does go back the way of the BLUEJAYS. You make it close. I look at this box score going out of the 13-11 out of that first map, and then potentially into a closer result here. Even in not taking the victory here, I think that going toe-to-toe on that Dust 2 speaks volumes. And we're not going to be waiting a whole lot longer for this to hit resume. They're going to be zooming up Cat, and Darty is taking the head off of Junior. Boss are back, and Cryptic, he's going to have to team up here with Freshie. Freshie has came away with nothing here on the bomb site. I think Slay might have tabbed out there when he jumped out of apartment, slowing up Boss for a moment. Laxi still breathing.
Dude, that's so critical. He drops that smoke. He buys some time. Arrival for Cryptic as he's back on catwalk, isolated, and he steals another away. Beautiful work from Laxi. His anchoring here has saved the round for Blue Jays, and no, tragedy strikes Slight once again, as he's the one who's been having the technical difficulties the whole time. And it's another issue as he's dropped from the server once again. I feel so bad for where Boss are at right now.
Yeah, man, this is really a bummer. You know, a lot of our excitement for today's matchup was, you know, not only for the matchup of oppers, but for, I mean, you know, you've been hearing us joke about, I'm not joking, actually. I mean, raving about this junior renaissance, but also cheering on Slight and how this guy is looked on paper, who, to be honest with you, has had sort of a similar kind of circumstance around kind of the public opinion of, you know, maybe where Slight can grow as an AWP player. Like, has he shown the best that he has here to offer? And I mean, seemingly just at least running back what he has here with Ben Leet so far, it's been really impressive.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing, right? To like further comment on the context of that conversation is Slight's never really been bad. I don't think anyone has ever really said that. That's not the question. The question has just been the ups and downs, the peaks. Has sometimes been a little bit lower than those that we had seen in the past. And also it kind of felt like he'd plateaued a little bit in some ways. And I think that's actually happened a couple of times for Slight in his career. The good news is he's consistently been able to get back up to that level. And, you know, sometimes that's just the way it goes as a player. You're not always going to be on your A game. But I'm really happy to see, in a situation where I was kind of getting to the point where I felt like maybe it was that plateau and then a little drop off that maybe was the end. He's just recovered so beautifully from that here in 2025. Back in the server and back on for this next round is Boss. Deagles, pistols for the most part.
Wow. Just against those unarmored opponents, but Cryptic is really looking like himself tonight in the best version. Slight taken out on the high explosive device, and Classia closes the case. This is Blue Jays winning and handling the pistols very easily without a casualty.
Can I just say, I mean, the spray from Cryptic tonight has been just second to none. It's been so consistently good. I've been very impressed. And Cryptic's always been a guy that can frag pretty well, considering being an in-game leader. That's been a huge part of him as a leader and his success.
Frag's pretty good for an in-game leader. No, like, you're saying for anybody, and that's what's really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Missed window smoke.
Come on. What are we doing here, buddy?
Unfortunately,
window smoke.
It's not going to matter, so.
Goodness gracious. Ben still gets that kill. Not whiffing on that engagement. But Laxi pulled out of that middle aggression. Blue Jays don't find out a whole lot for that. But gotta be expecting one of these extremities to be called up. But a refresh onto that window smoke, 1 minute and 10 into this round, gives them a different idea.
I'm a bit concerned for this A site. Classy is disconnected. He's in CT. And he's not going to be able to do a whole lot. He doesn't have a smoke to like lurk out on the site or anything like that either. And with Cryptic going down, this might just be over fast unless Junior can have a multi.
Stands in jungle, and now he's going to have to go and turn the attention to Connector in a 2 versus 4 here. The Blue Jays are now without even the vision from that scope. Glacia here is going to finish the spray onto the pushing triple player. He is being spotted from every single aspect, from the top of the stairs, Palace, and right as that bomb planter gets it down, Junior signaled to just save.
He's got to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the concerns I was having, right? Classia, I mean, he does well to get his one, but what can he really do? Boss, they don't give him any room to breathe. They just spam through the ticket booth, and he's dead eventually. Junior smoked off. Cryptic going down. Blue Jays picked apart, top to bottom. In round 7, it's all bosses as they get back into the winning graces of Mirage with just a classic A hit. Late lurk up, underpass. You get the one player up from top mid. 2 kills you just saw, the only 2 of the round the Blue Jays were able to collect. Their money's pretty good. In fact, Junior's got tons of cash, thanks to the fact he saved. Oh, he's got full vision.
Enough to say all clear. For now, Ben Leet spotted. And what an opening kill by Cryptic. That spot is just spectacular. But they're going to be flooding into the bomb site now and into the fire, the flames of Laxi. He gets a second there and to make it a triple. This is just a terror, putting his best into this Mirage from Catwalk. Slight here. Thankfully, while we have him in a 1 versus 4.
Laxi, he's had his multi-kills this half have been so impactful. Seriously, I mean, when we're talking about the B site and being able to deliver in, anchor positions, he's been consistently capable of arriving on scene. He's not the B anchor, but he has absolutely been stalwart in defending that B site. That's for damn sure. Very impressive as Laxi, another multi. That's 7 kills that he's gotten. Actually, I think all 9 of his kills have been in multi-kills on the B-site defense.
Unfortunately, we're back into a technical pause. This time, it looks like we are looking for the in-game leader of Boss, whereas Ben Leet dropped to.
Yeah, I mean, there's been these constant conversations.
Oh no.
And I don't want to give them more than they deserve, but just technical issues across the board here in North America that have made life very difficult for, specific players. Obviously, Blue Jays have been the victims of that. And now it seems like Boss are unfortunately falling victim similarly. And yeah, we're live, and it's not a mistake here.
Man.
This is a 4-on-5.
Yeah. I mean, this is never something you are going to be wanting to see. I think the HUD is just glitched a little bit. Classia is obviously not a T, but it is Ben Leet that will, obviously see that there. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. Ben Leet's in the server. They got all 5. We're just going to need a refresh on that HUD, but, I mean, we're all good. Cryptic here, and he's gunning from jungle. There's a flank this time. Classia here. It seems like fallen out of the function, but a nade just to go right into that corner, and they live. Blue Jays pull ahead off of a lot of issues in that through. They take a lead themselves, and it's 1 more than Boss.
I'm a little concerned at how often we're missing a window smoke right now. Though if it's
just playing with the nade guy, I mean, what happened?
I was just about to say, let me give the benefit of the doubt. I don't know who threw the nade, but if they're having lag issues, then that could definitely be causing it. Like if it's a loss situation.
Somebody else throw it then. Get out of here. We need to hit those, boys. This is Challenger League. This ain't the amateurs. Here goes Cryptic, and the hour is his. Laxi gonna nail a 3rd there at top middle. And this thing, round after round, just seems to be a highlight reel for any Blue Jays member. Classia here, trying to space out at triple. Takes a free frag onto Darty, and it's just a matter of time. But look at how magnetic it connects onto Fruit Cup. It seems like Blue Jays are fully in this Mirage.
Yeah, Cryptic having a darn good game, man. Another double from him. Laxi plays off of it. Gets the final man up top mid, and it's a cleanup sweep there. A Boss falling flat. They victims in the same way the Blue Jays were just 2 days ago. Yeah, I think that for Blue Jays, you know, obviously this Mirage is going to be a little bit on the easier side because of the aforementioned problems, but it does not get any easier. This the lower final, and there's a. Can I just say we're calling it the consolidation final on HLTV? That's not what that's actually called, but all good. Which is the real lower final. And guess who they get to meet there? The loser of NRG M80. Unfortunately, we just got some confirmation, tragedy striking, that Boss, rather than playing 4v5, gonna call it on Mirage, and that'll give Blue Jays the forfeit win on map 2, meaning this is a 2-0 for Blue Jays. I mean, you really just hate to see that that's how a game goes.
This really sucks. I mean, never should circumstances outside of the game affecting our open circuit circumstances that we have, especially with how much VRS is on the line considering these games and Blue Jays' path to it. Mathematically, Boss don't have a chance. This is a new core, obviously not a new core, but they're so far behind a lot of these teams where they're just catching up for, you know, that next reign of it, and they're trying to do the best they can. And this, having all of the recent changes on this iteration, like, I mean, I think we ought to do a service here, Vincent. The people that are going to be looking at this series are going to be going, what the hell happened, right? This is Boss that looked so good here in the beginning of this first map. They started disconnecting. This is where things started going south. Yeah, you had a lot of really good plays there for Blue Jays, but let's talk about that Dust too. It was a 13-11 loss that they had out here. I haven't seen somebody in some time give Blue Jays a problem like that on their best map in their pool, Dust 2, right? I mean, this is a really good performance that's going to be forgotten by Boss.
Yeah, and listen, they, before the first signs of trouble on Mirage, they were looking really good. It was Fruit Cup off to like a 6-0 start. I think Darty was similarly scored up like 4-0. You know, they won the pistol and followed that up with 4 rounds. Like, everything was looking up there for Boss. And for me, you know, the story here just has to be that it's what could have been. But you know what? Listen, we can talk about that forever. I think we do got to celebrate the fact that Blue Jays at least get to move forward, right? They get the opportunity to once again, you know, you'd think likely get a rematch against NRG. That's a spicy matchup because obviously the upper bracket semi, the, you know, Blue Jays lost, but also, you know, they had a similar matchup in CCT, a matchup in the playoffs of Frag. That's a back and forth that has been very fun to watch as well.
It certainly has been, and you know, for that positive aspect as well, this is going to be definitely an anticlimactic win for the Blue Jays, but another notion, another bit of evidence that is going in the positive direction of their path to Budapest for this next major coming up here at the beginning, rather middle of November. We check back in for our Qiddiya player to watch, and for what we did get to see, Junior was out there just impressing on every turn about it, but he was almost every member of the Blue Jays tonight. You know, I mean, unfortunately, we're never going to be calling on Cryptic, maybe for the player to watch here, but he is the man of the hour. He is the man that is making this all happen. And into account here, I know we were talking a lot about like what this guy does aggressively. He's the third entry rifler on this pack, and today he just took the star player crown and went insane. You know, make your pick of Blue Jays. You're gonna have a damn fine individual performance out of somebody.
I was really impressed, like, with his spray control too. Just like I know we're not in the world, like, spray control is kind of not a thing that we talk about these days in Counter-Strike, but I'm bringing it back, baby. That's some good work from Cryptic, and in general, we saw some good work on both maps in that same vein. Nonetheless, a win here, no matter how you slice it, is gotta feel good for Blue Jays, even if it's not the fashion that they would like, because, you know, like I said, they were the victims of this type of situation just a few days ago, so they know the pain. They are not loving how this goes down, but you'll take the win no matter what.
And it will be Blue Jays, as you said, moving on to the next round, the pseudo final of our lower bracket that is going to see the loser of how you said it earlier, M80 and NRG out there. With M80 playing across seas, man, I don't know if I like their chances versus a very hungry NRG, Vincent, but we will just have to wait for that. For another day, I believe tomorrow, same time here on the ESL channel, Vincent. It's going to be an absolute banger. Yeah, Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time for that. You better not miss it. Blue Jays will be back on Saturday around that same bend.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Qiddiya, and 1xBet.